no balls fall. You want good words? Data languager.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. If I go into a sneezing fit, Jared, you'll just have to take over. I don't know what happened. I walked in, sat down, kind of got the computer where I wanted it to, and then sneezes.
I would just call it a day if I were you.
Just sneezing.
That's it. I'm out. That's what I would do.
Now I sound like I have snot in my nose, because I do. All right, coming up on the show today, we missed a few things yesterday just because there was so much going on. Some golf stuff from over the weekend, some high school stuff from over the weekend we'll get to. The AP poll released yesterday. Not a lot of difference between the AP poll and the coaches poll.
Cowards.
I know. They need to release these at the same time to see what the true differences might have been.
Just a blind release. They don't have anything to compare it to.
I believe there was one team different as far as the 25.
Okay.
24 of 25 teams were the same. There was one that was in the AP poll that wasn't in the coaches, one in the coaches that wasn't in the AP. And really the order was pretty close to the same as well. There's a couple of different, but ridiculous. And that leads me to, should there even be preseason polls?
I was thinking that in the shower this morning.
It does it matter, though?
Yeah, we always say that. But it's fun. It's fan service, but
does it matter in the end? A lot of people go, oh, it shouldn't be released till at least October. The college football playoff poll doesn't release until November. But does it matter? Do these preseason polls and where these teams start out actually matter when it comes down to the end? SEC, no first place votes in the AP poll. You know when the last time that happened?
Probably around the Civil War time.
I'll tell you when it was. Is Ohio State really the best team after so many losses on defense? Man, we totally missed this to talk about anyway. Did you see the season ticket promotion at Akron?
No.
Oh,
Akron. I'm not really paying attention
the
to
Zips.
Akron Zips.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
What they did to promote season tickets being bought.
Cool.
And should we go ahead and do that for what you get to do if you win the drawing?
You're asking me, should we buy season tickets to watch the Akron Zips home games?
Yeah.
In Akron, Ohio.
When you find out what you get to do if you win the drawing, you might think about it.
Okay.
O-line injuries for Oklahoma, Texas now being reported after yesterday. Still no severity on their what people think is going to be a first-round draft pick in Trevor Gooseby, the left tackle. Some sort of knee injury, so everybody's holding their breath. Sooners got some decent news, I think, as far as Jake Michaela, the center. Georgia's had an O-line injury. That's the things we talk about this all offseason, and then one roll up in the O-line or and things completely change. The game has changed. If you don't realize it, how much it's slowed down. You don't see turbo speed very often. There was a graph on ESPN showing exactly how much it's slowed down.
I mean, we're seeing some brakes. Used to be all gas, no brakes.
It's lots of brakes, not much gas.
We're pumping the brakes a little bit.
Lots of pumping the brakes going on. And then at the top, MLB, Major League Baseball, about 40-ish games for most teams left in the regular season. Where do things stand? Should we be worried about the Dodgers? Jim had an interesting stat, and we've noted it since the Tarek Skubal deal. It seems like the Dodgers have been a little bit un-Dodger-like. But he had an amazing stat that wasn't just in the last 3 weeks. It was season-long. That would lend a little credence to it, even though I think we both believe the Dodgers will be there in the end. It's time to give him the trophy, Jared. I'll tell you who needs a trophy.
Okay.
And then outside, and I got a little tidbit on that today, too. Then outside of the Rangers, because I know you're going to say, okay, who do you want to see in the playoffs? I know you're going to say the Rangers.
Oh, I hate baseball right now. The Rangers play.
But is there a team?
I'm sure you're loving the Cubbies, what they've been doing. My goodness.
Exactly. But is there a team or two that's in the mix that you're like, you know what? I'd like to see them.
Sure.
I'd like to see them go ahead and make it. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We could talk about any of those things, whatever else might be on your mind. Feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. Going to be outside the listening area one of these days. A couple ways to stay in touch with the show. Log on to kadsam.com. You can download the app. The app's got it all. Radio, Penny News. Brand new edition of the Penny News will hit the website tonight at midnight, so you can check it out. ThePennyNews.com. Big Elk and Paragon TV. Big Elk softball, Elkette softball today. Elk City Festival, 4:30 and 5:30. 4:30 against Merritt, 5:30 against Bridge Creek. They've also have their games that we'll tell you about later on in the week at Hall of Fame. Times and opponents have been announced that I saw this morning, so we can talk about that throughout the week. Of course, football starts a week from Friday with Shawnee in town. Paragon TV, Merritt the next week, get their football season going. And, of course, Skinny on Sports podcast available anywhere podcast may drop. How are you today, Jared Atha?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I was good until I started sneezing as soon as I walked in here. I don't know what the deal was there. But all is well.
I can tell you what the deal is. It's dry and dusty outside.
Yeah, no, it was so weird.
Blah.
There was no issues. I sat down in this chair, and it was just like sneeze attack occurred. Thankfully, it happened before the show started, and hopefully it holds off until after the show. Major League Baseball. So you are distraught about your Rangers.
They have not played well now. So it's fine. Whatever. I kind of had in the back of my mind, they keep playing with fire and try to keep winning from coming from behind. It's just not going to work out for you in the long run. Good news,
they're 4-6. Or the bad news, they're 4-6 over the last 10. Good news is, other than the Angels, who are out of it, 4-6 holds up with everybody else in the mix. As far as the AFC West.
Call it what it is.
AFC West. AL West.
AL West is just not very good. Has not been very good this year.
You know, I think you could make the case outside of a couple of those teams in the AL East. The American League, period, hasn't been very good
No,
this
it's
year.
not. Let's look at the wild card situation. A team with a losing record is probably going to get that final wild card spot.
The major disappointments so far, and by so far we're 3/4 of the way through the season, the major disappointments have mostly been in the American League. Mm-hmm. The Guardians at 60-65 is a huge disappointment. The Royals. Some would say the Orioles, even though a lot of the bloom had come off their rose a little bit. Toronto was in the World Series a year ago. They're 4 games under. The West doesn't have a team with a positive run differential in the whole division, and the Astros are clinging to above 500. So, yeah, it has been. It's that wild card chase is going to be insane.
Yeah, it's still going to be fun. It's just then whoever gets that last spot. Like, well,
yeah, it's for one spot.
A little underwhelming.
It's definitely for one spot. The Yankees and the Red Sox are going to be 2 of the wild card teams, even though the Red Sox were hot as it is historically hot there for a little bit. They've cooled to 3-7 over the last 10, even though they won the last game. But yeah, you got Baltimore, Texas, Detroit tied with identical 61-64 records. The Twins and the Blue Jays are a half game back at 61-65. The Guardians a full game back. So what is that? 6 teams, and then the Mariners are 2 back. So basically, it's 7 teams for one spot, which is fun. And there's going to be all kinds of important games. I mean, if you look at run differential, you'd lean Tigers. They're the only ones
right
in the chase with the positive run differential. Yeah, I mean that does bring some intrigue to it. But then if you look down there, the Cardinals have had probably a better season than a lot of people thought in the National League. And they're 3 games out at 64 and 62. They'd be walking away right now with the wild card if they were in the other league. One team that's kind of got it back going that there for a little bit, the Phillies, is a team that a lot of people think if they could just get there, they'll have a pretty good chance to do some damage. I personally think the Padres are that team. If they can just get there, just become a wild card team, then I think they're a team that you absolutely don't want to play.
Phillies are like, I don't doubt they'll get there in the playoffs. It's just that what they do in the playoffs kind of underperforms in the last couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons.
And their bats go away. The pitching is really good, and that's one thing about these series, that if you have really good pitching, you're always going to have a chance to win games and then eventually series.
Like when they lost to the Diamondbacks, what was that, 23, 24? Their bats just went away, and their fans were up in arms like, where'd the bats go? This is why we got you, Harper. This is why we have these guys, and it just went away. So I don't doubt they'll get there. It's just I think all Philly fans are like, okay, yeah, we've seen this show before. They can get to the playoffs, and then they, down their leg when they even get to the NLCS. So, but this year's bats seem different though. Schwarber's awesome. Harper is Harper. It seems different. We'll see.
Yeah, the race is going to be good. So I got a call this morning, and a dad was taking his kids, like literally a busload of kids, to school. Like not a bus driver.
Is it Tyler?
Yes, he has that many kids.
I was joking, but you're serious.
Yeah, and Winston, his son.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't see what PCA did last night, give him the trophy. Give him the MVP.
He's on a tear right now.
Give it to him. It's funny when he hits 2 homers. It feels like Shohei does too. That last game of that series in Wrigley a couple weeks ago, they both hit 2 home runs. Last night, Pete Crow-Armstrong became the first guy since 2010 to hit a leadoff bomb and a walk-off bomb in a single game.
That's crazy.
Consecutive 30 for 30 seasons. First one in Cubs history to be under 25 years old and do it. He's still only 24. But Winston was wanting us to talk about Pete Crow-Armstrong and his chances to be the MVP. And he also he's starting the campaign to get me into the National Baseball Writers Association so I can vote.
Winston is?
Yes, Tyler. Does Skinny have a vote?
I think
yeah, man. If I had one, I know I'd vote.
Somebody's living through their son here. Hey, we'll just tell him Winston wants us to talk about it. That's like when somebody calls Jim and a kid calls Jim and you hear dad whispering in the background.
Yeah, the questions.
Not so NL MVP, I think, is a definite.
It's a race.
Case. I think he can, if he can continue doing highlight stuff like he did last night, absolutely, and carry the Cubs. Now, I'm sure there's others on that team that are awesome, but when the Cubs are winning, everybody's winning. Everybody seems to enjoy it, which might be answering our next question coming up about who we want to see in it. But no, I for what he's doing, because what Shohei is doing is what we all expected him to do, and he's not pitching. If he was pitching, we've had this conversation before. Mm-hmm. If he was pitching and pitching at a high level, that's hard to overtake. But what PCA is doing is right up there with Shohei, and there might be some fatigue with Ohtani too, like the voters saying, we've seen this story. This kid's come out of nowhere. Nobody was on their preseason radar as maybe a top 50 player, maybe. If you ask somebody, your baseball experts at the start of the season, probably a lot of people, okay, keep an eye on this kid. But he's had a heck of a year, and I think he is up there at the top of the NL MVP race.
Yeah, OPS, they're 1 and 2. I went through the stats a couple weeks ago, and not much has changed really as far as now. PCA has 1 more home run than Shohei after last night. It just begs the question, if it's just to hand it to Shohei Ohtani because he pitches, okay, how much does he have to pitch in order for the people to feel like that? I mean, he has 14 starts, and 12 of those were quality starts. I mean, the pitching was really above his hitting for a bunch of the first quarter of the season at least, and then he's picked it up at the plate immensely since then. I mean, the guy's still 1.79 ERA, but he hadn't pitched since July the 3rd, so we're looking at a month and a half, and really there's not many signs pointing to him getting back out there as far as a full-time role within the rotation at this point in the season. You might get a couple, leading into the playoffs or something like that with the quad, but it just. And I'm one of those that if he pitches and he to the level that he does and hits to the level he does, yeah, he's the absolutely guaranteed the only choice for MVP. But it's starting to become a question of how much does he have to be out there on the mound to make it that way.
How much do the Dodgers feel like they need him on the mound?
So the Dodgers
lately they think they might go that direction with how they've been playing.
How worried are you about the Dodgers?
Not too worried.
What if
it seems like a weekly question, but they keep struggling week after week.
What if I told you that in the 66 games that they've played against teams with a winning record, they've split them 33-33. Now they're dominating everybody else. They're 24 above 500 against the
teams with
the bad
records,
teams.
yeah.
But against the good teams, right at 500 at 33-33. Now, I bet you if you looked into the other contenders, you might find a similar case just because, yeah, when you play better people, the odds of winning and losing, kind of even out a little bit. But for as dominant as they feel or have felt at times in the season, the run differential is the best in baseball, even better than the Brewers. Honestly, you know what I think might have been the most important thing the Dodgers did with the Skubal thing? Was keeping Milwaukee from getting him.
Yeah, you've said that. Yeah.
Mizorowski and Skubal back-to-back, you see them 4 times in 7 games. Watch out.
Yeah. Good luck.
That might be the most important thing they did, was not even just getting him on their team, just keeping him off somebody else, a la Kevin Durant in Golden State.
Right.
I'm still not worried until we see it, but there are
rumblings.
There are some cracks in the foundation, maybe a little bit for the Dodgers.
Well, it's good for baseball, I'll tell you that, because people will go, oh, well, they're beatable, so they'll watch. And who knows after that in the offseason.
Of the teams that are in the race, who would you like to see?
Well, I showed my hand a little bit. I like the Cubs. I mean, who doesn't want the Cubs in the postseason? For all the nostalgia and how fun it is to see Wrigley in the playoffs. So that's kind of like a easy answer. And on top of that, while we're talking about the Cubs, why not the Cardinals, Cardinals in the mix for a wild card spot. What are they, 3 games behind? I mean, there's still a lot of season left where they can gain ground. Having a better than what they expected type of season, maybe ahead of schedule a little bit.
Yeah, like a year or 2 ahead,
yeah.
I think.
I mean, same reason said about the Cubs. I mean, Busch Stadium's always fun, in a series, and maybe hearing Joe Buck say, "See you tomorrow night" off a walk-off homer, So, I get nostalgic when you ask me that question of teams in baseball that you want to see in the playoffs. I don't care who's on the team. It's the logo. It's the brand that you want to see. That's pretty much is true of all sports when we talk about, big games. Who do you want to see play? And you go to your big brands. But those are fun, nostalgic brands I like to see in the playoffs. I just mentioned 2 NL teams. I'm seeking a team in the AL. Can I say who I don't want? That's Houston. But I don't know. I mean, maybe Detroit for local rooting interest. I don't know.
Yeah, Jackson Jobe back, by the way.
Jackson Jobe's playing. Of course, you got cash in the system, but not there yet. Have you seen the project? I like this. I didn't see this projection thing where when the trade happened. Little side note, and they're talking about, you look it up. I was looking up Cash Mayfield, Googling it up. What do they think about Cash up in Detroit? And and you got your message boards and your subreddits and all that stuff, and it said projected time that they expect him to be in the bigs since 2028.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Has kind of been.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. But Detroit's fun in the playoffs. I've never been, for some reason, a fan of Toronto. I know they were your AL champs last year, but I don't know. Something about Toronto and baseball, and I don't know. Who do you want to see? You can't say Cubs. I couldn't say Rangers. Right. You can't say Cubs.
For me in baseball in the playoffs, stars and rivalries.
Oh, 100%.
And I've wanted to see San Diego and the Dodgers. I think we got to see it once, but that one is a very heated rivalry. Yeah, those guys simply don't like each other. I was really wanting that to be the NLCS last year. Yeah. There's fights every time in the stands.
It's scary almost.
That would be one. The Padres, Cubs, Cardinals. No offense, Milwaukee, but I don't know how big a rivalry Cubs Brewers or Cardinals Brewers is. Cubs Cardinals is the one.
Cubs Cardinals. You want Yankees Red Sox.
Obviously Yankees Red Sox.
Yeah, you want. I think some other. I mean. Okay, I can't say Texas, but I want to see Texas Houston.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It was fun the last time it happened. Went to 7 games. Damn near fight.
Yeah.
In one of the games. Those are fun.
Then, the White Sox are a great story because they've just been putrid for a while now.
Yeah, that's true.
And now here they are with a 5-game lead in the division over Detroit. Now, that's at least new blood. I don't know how fired up you get about the White Sox. I've always sort of liked the Twins for some reason. I don't know. The Orioles, I'll say this, in thinking back to that short series with Texas a few years back. But Camden Yards,
yeah,
it's a cool atmosphere, especially if they play it during the day. And normally they kind of do because they're on the West Coast or the East Coast, and the game times filter from east to west.
Right.
That always looks like a cool atmosphere. Yeah, there you go. As a Cardinals fan, dream NLCS would be Cubs Cardinals. Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, any of those, like even Braves Phillies. I mean, when those two teams play, there's a different, little bit, just because of their division rivals and all that kind of thing. But I think at the end of the day, the main thing about this baseball discussion is I need to vote for the MVP. However that happens. I have to get Winston on the job.
There's a lot of stuff like we need as in media, We need those sideline passes to get a more accurate feel for how OU did on opening night on September 4th. We need that as journalists, right?
Yeah.
And to get into the press conference and ask Brent a couple questions, maybe Arbuckle a couple questions. I think we need that. We need press passes to SEC media days, full credentials, flights, hotels. We need that for our job.
No doubt. And especially the Masters.
Absolutely.
Definitely need it for the Masters.
Absolutely. But we do thank the Elk City Public School System for building us a press box. We needed that, and we got it.
Yes.
We do appreciate that.
Go check that puppy out.
We need to. I've been meaning to do that.
Go check it out. Baseball's going to be fun.
Yep. Now, this final stretch will be fun. I get it, the AL, it's not good. I mean, how they look, but that final spot in the wild card is going to be a scratch and claw kind of situation.
And I
can't wait to see how that plays out.
The thing about it to me is in either league, if the Dodgers are a little bit vulnerable, which they've shown signs of that over the past month or so, just like they say in poker, just give me a chip and a chair and I've got a chance.
Exactly.
And, being on the outside looking in, you don't have any chance, but at least whoever does secure those final wild card spots is going to have a shot.
And if your team gets those final wild card spots, you get to buy yourself a postseason T-shirt. Those other fans don't.
That's
you
right.
Rub that in their face too. I don't care what the record is.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a fun playoffs.
I think so.
In Major League Baseball. We'll be back with some college football next. Skinny on Sports right here on a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday.
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
The Skinny on Sports.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Welcome back. It is the Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal. Appreciate Rodney and the gang down at Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main. Paul Jones Drug, care you can trust, free delivery in the Elk City area. We'll talk about convenience packaging after the next break. It's a really good deal there at Paul Jones Drug. All right, AP poll released. We're, 10 days from the first game in week 0 in college football. We talked about it after the coaches poll was released 2 weeks ago, wondering how much that could or would influence what we see in the AP poll. And I would really like to see Jim's truth serum on this one, because you look at the two polls side by side. There are, let's see, the top. Well, I mean, 24 of the 25 are the same teams. You know, the top 10 are exactly the same teams, just a little bit different order for a couple of them. Notre Dame is 4 in the AP and 5 in the coaches. Texas is 4 in the coaches, 5 in the AP. Oklahoma is 9 in the coaches, 10 in the AP. Ole Miss, vice versa. That group of LSU, Texas Tech, A&M, 11 through 13 is in different order. The LSU higher in the AP than they are the coaches. BYU and USC they're actually tied in the AP at 14. Then there's Michigan. You got Penn State, Washington, SMU, and Tennessee. The next 4, they're the same 4, just kind of a different order. And then at the end, Louisville makes it into the AP with Clemson being the first team out. Clemson made it. Clemson made it into the coaches with Louisville being the first team out. You know what I mean? It's like I think I can agree. If you look at the top 7, it feels like there is a definite top 7. And in both these polls, if you look at the points, there's a jump down from Miami at 7 in both polls down to A&M at 8. There's a pretty good gap in there to where it does feel like most people believe that there's 7 teams, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, and Miami, that are sort of a cut above, at least going into the season, than everybody else. But I just don't believe that it would look like this similar, if the AP writers didn't get to see the coaches poll first.
Totally agree.
I just don't believe it.
Totally agree.
And I don't know why that is. I mean, is it one of those things where the writers go, okay, well, the coaches know more than me, if they had a giant difference of opinion? Or is it just there's so many? What is there, 72 first place votes in the coaches? I remember adding that up back then. Let's see, 13, 51, 53, 53, and 19. Yeah, 72. So you got 54, 68, 69 in the AP first place votes. So it's a pretty big sample size, and maybe this just conformity rules the day, even if you are one of the outliers in either one of them. Mm-hmm. and it all just kind of evens out. But I just simply don't believe that that'd be true. And it leads me to, should there even be these polls? And do they matter in the end?
There's pros and cons. Like I said, it's the fan service to say we're number one or we're a top 10 team. We're on our way. Look, I knew we were playoff contenders. We're in that echelon of 12. So it kind of plays to that. But these polls truly do not matter until the playoff committee's first poll comes out, and then these polls are just ignored and thrown away. So, but on the other hand, it gives us an idea of maybe what the playoff committee's thinking. Like, okay, they have a basis to go off of. Like, yeah, Ohio State, a lot of people think highly of them, both coaches and AP, but Texas beat them, and then Texas, so maybe Texas is so kind of something to measure off of and go off of. But if you want my opinion, no, they don't matter a hill of, they don't amount to a hill of beans. I say don't even have them. In my opinion, you're always going to everybody who has a Facebook or Twitter account puts out their own poll just for fun and clicks, and your Barstool guys and Outkick guys, they're doing their own polls just for the fan service. These two, they don't matter for what we're looking for at the college football playoff selection committee. I'd say throw them out and let everybody's opinion just kind of float out there until that first poll comes out. But it does help. Let's face it. It helps with TV ratings when you could turn on the TV and you see a number next to a team losing against a team that does not have a number. People will tune in to see that. Or if it's a 1 versus, what if Ohio State and Oregon are 1-2 when they play? That's huge. So I think by then the poll will be out. The real poll I'm talking about, the playoff poll, will be out. But Texas, Ohio State, that's big. It's a top 5 matchup in both polls. So but I think even without numbers, those names alone are going to draw in viewers. But it's just fan service. It's just fan service. What do you think? Do these matter in your opinion, or
I don't know if they matter. I think there is inherently like a bias cooked in to your mind, even if you're on that playoff committee and you see these released. I think you automatically go, okay, these are supposed to be the good teams. And whether or not that truly matters in the end, I don't know in that committee room, if it comes down to 2 teams, I genuinely don't believe someone would fire out the comment of, well, they were ranked higher in the preseason. I don't believe that.
No one's going to say it, but it's going to be on their mind.
But there is something in the back of their mind that might, kind of trend that way if it comes down to a debate about 2 teams. Well, they were supposed to be better. So they, the coaches thought they were number 4 instead of number 14. Right. So they must know something we don't. I could see that being a possibility, even though it may not be put out there. Good point that Tyler made. That the polls sort of went by the wayside when the BCS ended, because they were components of that, and now it's just more. I like it. It tells me that college football is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And then, but I truly think that anybody that pays attention to the games when they get started playing, I just don't think that anyone would go, oh, well, they were supposed to be good by the time it's all said and done. Now, I do believe that as far as the conversation within that room, I think they do matter in certain ways to be able to build or tear apart resumes however you wish. Yeah. Because of where they start. And we all know that it's hard for anybody in the top, say, 5 to 10. They have to have a pretty disastrous start or middle of the season to actually drop out. Because you're just going to go, okay, well, so-and-so was 5, they lost. Okay, now they're like number 10. Oh, they're number 10. They won a couple games. They're back up to 8. Oh, they lost again. Oh, now they're about number 14. And that builds resumes for the teams that beat them that then go into the discussion at the end of the season. inside the committee room. So that would be the one maybe negative is the perception before the season. The stronger that is, the more likely, even if you don't start out great, that you're still where you can jump up higher, or you still got a number by your name when somebody beats you that then helps later on down the season. Do you know the last time the SEC didn't have a first place vote in the poll?
My guess would be sometime in the 80s.
It's not back as long as you think.
Okay, 90s?
2015.
Oh, really?
When I saw that or heard that, I was like, what?
Alabama?
That's exactly what but you know what it was?
No. What?
2015, the AP poll was unanimous number one. It was Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
After winning the first playoff.
Ah, right.
They were unanimous number one. All 61 at the time first place votes were Ohio State's.
Last time Ohio State was preseason number one, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right. You know the last time a non-SEC team was number one in the AP poll preseason? And who it was?
No.
Clemson.
What year?
Was it 19 or 20? I think it was 20. Was the last time that it was a non-SEC team at number one in the poll.
I would have said Ohio State in 15, but,
yeah.
But Clemson makes sense.
Is Ohio State really the best team?
I almost want to say yes by default because of the deficiencies of the other teams. And I get what you're about to say with replacing a lot on defense at Ohio State, but they've proven to us it's not rebuild, it's reload over and over again. Ryan Day has shown that to us. So I could have an argument that Oregon could be considered number one, especially what they bring back offensively. Georgia, they got to show us they can get to the quarterback. That was a big problem for them last year. They're honestly, I like Georgia. And we know about Texas, we know about Notre Dame, but there are some question marks there. I think Ohio State again is number one because they don't have as many questions as other teams below them do. So,
I mean, it's hard for me to believe.
Remember what I said yesterday about parity and about 1 through 7, maybe 1 through 8. I might stop at 7. I can make a case for all those teams to be number one and have a chance to win the national title.
I don't mind Ohio State being highly ranked, but in this age of college football, with the lack of depth that's able to be accumulated by the top schools, when you lose 3 of the top 11 picks in the draft on one side of the ball, well, it's hard for me to it's hard for me to think, okay, yeah, they'll just replace Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, and Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Just bam, there they go. Which leads me to, I mean, you want to talk about a great opportunity for Texas. At home, revenge from last year against a team that it has a number by their name that I personally don't think is right. This is, we saw this with Oregon last year. They got the benefit of the doubt of beating, number 5 or number 3 Penn State at the time. And it's like everybody forgot Penn State just dropped off a cliff. And maybe that loss to Oregon was the catalyst for them jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
Both of those arguments can be made, but man, second game of the year down in Austin, this is a great chance for Texas to get a win that is absolutely going to be highly, highly regarded. I mean, all throughout the year, even if Ohio State isn't as good as they have been.
Right.
I think a lot of other teams losing what they lost, and it's I think it's simply people like saying, Jeremiah Smith, most people think is the best player in the country, regardless of position. So there's some firepower there, no doubt. But a lot of Ohio State's success, even though they've had that firepower, has been because their defense has been so good. Mm-hmm. And man, you lose one off every level of the defense like that. That quality. You gotta think it's gotta make a little bit of a difference.
Like I can see, and I hate it if people are voting like this of what they think they'll be at the end of the year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I like to see a voting that goes, okay, this is what we think they are right now. Not reaction of like I didn't like Paul Feinbaum's comments about OU yesterday, not because I'm an OU fan, but because he was talking about the schedule and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Paul. I totally get that. The schedule's tough. Michigan, Georgia, Texas. I get all that. But right now you're looking on paper, like on the field, on the product right now, I say OU is a top 10 team. Now with Ohio State, I think right now I can see them being a number one right now. And
the same. It's people don't use the same reasoning for every team in the poll.
Right.
Because look at that Ohio State schedule. It is hard. Mm-hmm. I mean hard. Texas's schedule is hard. They were having that conversation yesterday of the top 7 or 8 teams in the SEC, whatever, and I think it goes maybe down to Tennessee, or it may stop at Alabama, the top 13. Georgia, Texas, A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, and Alabama. Of those teams, Georgia and Alabama only play 3 of the other ones, where everybody else plays 4. So maybe a little bit of a schedule advantage for both Georgia and Alabama, even though there's a 9-game schedule. But it does its job. It gets us to talk about it.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so Akron.
Yeah, what's going on in Akron?
The ticket promotion for Akron.
Season tickets. Buying season tickets.
If you buy a season ticket to Akron, you are put into a drawing. And the winner of that drawing gets to call the first series on offense of the season. Not only gets to call the plays, but also gets to go in and set in with Joe Moorhead, who is the play caller, and kind of talk through it.
The first series.
Not just play, like how to one of the in vogue terms right now is sequencing of plays. So you get to go. Usually a lot have like the first 10 plays scripted.
So
that you get to essentially what you're going to get to do is go in and talk to Joe Moorhead, and maybe you have veto power over Joe Moorhead. Hey, Joe, I know your script is this, but I'm calling this. So how awesome is that?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool until you call a play that turns into a turnover. Let's hope it's the running back's fault for fumbling, not because you called a play that the defense sniffed out and picked off. No, that is pretty cool. I looked it up.
It's the home game. It's against Robert Morris.
Yeah, so you got to think it's a winnable game, but it's still Akron. They're not known for.
So who's got more pressure? Whoever wins to call the right plays. Joe Moorhead, if he doesn't have anything to really do with calling the plays, and some 10-year-old kid that plays Sega fires him down for a touchdown.
Right.
Or the defense of Bob Morris. When you got to look up and you give up a 6-play drive for 75 yards and a touchdown, and you go, holy cow, a 10-year-old just scored on us. That is awesome.
Well, I looked it up. 2 things that stood out. I Googled this. Tickets are as low as $75.
Yes, I was going to say, and it's only like $70.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good chance right there. I paid more to try to win a golf cart coming up. I think that's pretty good chances. And then 2, Pat McAfee has bought tickets. He wants to get on board with this. He wants to make some play calls here.
I think I had seen that the Rise in the season tickets.
It's working?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Hey, whatever it takes.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
They're going to draw tomorrow?
Tomorrow. The random selection. So the prize, help design the first 10 to 15 plays, participate in a pregame press conference, sit in the coach's box with a headset.
Pregame press conference. So, not the post game where you have to answer for.
No, you're not
Coach,
gonna
why
have to
didn't
answer.
you call that play?
I don't know. Joe did it.
Kids over there with the juice box, huh?
That's fantastic.
You know what first play I'm calling?
Annexation, Puerto Rico.
That's exactly. That is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, you double reverse passes will be the first three. Yeah, how dull. What if it's like a guy our age? It's like Akron alum, maybe he played there. He's like dissecting the defense, and he's like, what fullback dive will work here. I mean, how boring can you be? It's good stuff. Way to go, Akron. Whoever thought of that?
I love it.
Very good.
I love it. Like something like OU or OSU, like if it's OU, if they did a promotion like that, I would take like a chance to ride the schooner on the first touchdown of the year.
They had all that stuff last year that you could do.
Or ride Bullet. Coming out here.
I'm not riding any live animals. We'll be back, Skinny on Sports, on a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday.
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
The Skinny on Sports.
First and last, baby!
Welcome back. Wrapping up a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Excuse me, right here on the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal. Paul Jones Drug, convenience packaging. We talk about it every week. It's where they conveniently package your daily medication each and every day. You don't have to use your pill caddy. You don't have to load it up either by the week, by the month. Make sure you got everything in the right day, the right dose. No. They do that for you. You just open it up, take your medications, and boom, you're off for the day. Paul Jones Drug, convenience packaging, a staple down there at 809 North Main. Once again, thank you to Rodney and the gang at Paul Jones Drug. Some of the stuff we missed yesterday. Huge news for a kid that grew up right here in Elk City, Oklahoma. Of course, we followed Ryder Cowan throughout the U.S. Amateur last week. Ended up bowing out on Thursday evening in 20 holes to, what's his name, Riley.
Yeah,
from Auburn.
Yeah.
It was a great comeback. Ryder's down 2 with 2 to go. 117, 118, and then lost on the 20th hole, which was back to number 15, the order that they played there. But not all bad news. He finished in the top 16. That was the round of 16. And also named to the Walker Cup team, which is basically the Ryder Cup for amateur golf. He was one of the 10 members of the U.S. Walker Cup team that was announced just right after the play at the USAM. So that means that Ryder will be back over the pond again. He played in the Palmer Cup this summer, and now he'll be a part of the 51st Walker Cup matches, September 5th and 6th at Lahinch in Ireland. Also on that team is Preston Stout, Oklahoma State star, NCAA individual champ. There were 4 guys that were already going into the USAM. Ethan Fang, also an OSU guy. Miles Russell, who Ryder took down in the first match. Preston Stout and Tyler Watts, another 17-year-old lefty. Those guys are way up on the official golf rankings, the amateur golf rankings. And then joining them after their play is Kia Akina, Ryder, Josiah Gilbert, who's also an Auburn guy, William Jennings, big, tall. He was the 6'6" guy from Alabama that made it on into the he won a couple of matches at the USAM, I believe. Stuart Hagestad, the old man, 35. And then Jayling Jr., who was the runner-up at the U.S. Amateur there, falling to Jack Whaley. So congratulations to Ryder and a couple of those OSU guys as well. Walker Cup coming up in September, first weekend in September, 5th and 6th at Lahinch in Ireland. So a huge honor there for Ryder. Over the weekend, for the PGA Tour playoffs began. Scotty Scheffler dominated to an 8-shot win over Siwoo Kim. Did you see his shot from the bunker on Sunday?
No, I did not.
On number 3, par 5. So he hits it in the left bunker in 2. There's water. Like he's staring at the water, hitting his bunker shot.
So how far out?
Oh, just green high, like pin high.
Gotcha, okay.
He hit
par 5, I think.
Yeah, it was a par 5.
Okay.
He hits this beautiful bunker shot that hits a sprinkler head. And not only did it hit the sprinkler head, but the sprinkler head, the way the slope, it was like aimed at the water, like on a little bit of a angle.
Uh-huh.
And it hits the sprinkler head and shoots in the water, causing him to make a bogey.
The ball shoots in the water?
The ball hit the sprinkler head, and it went in the water.
I thought he broke the sprinkler head.
It just hit it and went in. I mean, it would have been a perfect shot, and he'd have tapped it in for birdie. Instead, it was a bogey there early on. Now he ended up just dominating. And so the rumors of Scotty Scheffler's demise,
I wonder if that calms him down.
Might be a little bit premature. Also, I mean, I get the idea of the FedEx Cup playoffs. There's just not a real great way to do it because the goal is to make it exciting at East Lake here at a couple of weekends so that you get people to watch. And I don't know if anybody really cares about who wins the FedEx Cup, but it's going to be pretty stupid when you look at the standings going in, and Scotty Scheffler has been the best player by far, and he's going to be way ahead in the standings. And then we're supposed to believe that if things don't go well at East Lake, that somebody else wins the FedEx Cup for the season-long points race. I mean, give me a break. You know, it's one of those things that's manufactured that, you know, they've tried it a whole bunch of different ways, and none of them have really worked. You know, there was the confusion of starting them like 10 under par, depending on how they're. So then you had 2 leaderboards, the FedEx and the actual tournament. I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not working. Let's move on to something else. But yeah, so Scotty wins again, his second win of the year, and he's firmly back on top of the mountain as far as the PGA Tour goes, and just a dominant force and played more Scotty-like the other day or over the weekend at Memphis. And then, man, a lot of good high school stuff from even back to last week on Friday. You know, you had Coach Taylor and Coach Jay in here with the Canute volleyball. They went down to Snyder on Friday, won all 5 of their matches to win that Snyder tournament. So congratulations to them. That's awesome. A great start there. Softball has been roaring all across western Oklahoma with teams playing each other. Great matchups. We saw a great 3-way yesterday with Sealing and Canute and Weatherford, where all three of those teams split. Weatherford beat Canute 8-7, Canute beat Sealing 18-10, and Sealing beat Weatherford 8-7. We saw the Keba Sickles knock off the Elkettes twice in the finals of the Maggie Walker down in Hobart to come back and win that tournament. Got the festival going on today here. The Elkettes are going to the Hall of Fame Classic coming up at the end of the week. Leedy's got tournaments. I just got that. I didn't even open the email, but they've got baseball and softball tournaments coming up this weekend. So I'm sure the fields will be awesome. Baseball, Arapahoe won the Verdon tournament. Hammond ended up 3rd. You said Cheyenne Radin's off to a great start on the softball field. No surprise, really, though, at the end of the day.
No, not at all. No, I love seeing all our local teams not only have success but play each other. We use that term "iron sharpens iron" a lot, and that's certainly the case out here when you see teams like that. So I love these festivals that we have. I love that the 3-ways that you're talking about. Those are fun. I like to see more of that, especially the softball. It was hard to do in high school. You need all day to do it, but softball, it wasn't just a couple good teams and a slouch. All 3 of those teams battling and playing, and at the end of the day, you're going to hear them in October, I think, playing deep in the playoffs. So really, really cool stuff. Really cool stuff.
Just today, as far as fast pitch, Merritt went up to Woodward to the tournament. They lost in the finals to Woodward. Woodward's a team that's
Woodward's the team. Yeah.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Kaylee Mills in the circle is a big part of that. But you got Arapahoe and Lakiba Sickles today.
That one's going to be good.
That looks to be a good one.
That looks to be real good.
Canute Mangum, Canute Leedy. So that looks like a three-way there. Canute, Leedy, and Mangum.
Poor Canute, because that Weatherford game went to 11 innings. My wife was like, man, almost 3 games they had to play. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, and they got to turn around and play tomorrow.
Cheyenne and Sayre. Lady Eagles have got off to a decent start for sure. Yeah, there's all kinds. I mean, just anywhere you can, point. You can drive 20 or 30 minutes and find some really good softball, really good fall baseball all over the place out here. And then the volleyball is kicking up. That's to me, the volleyball looks like the new softball as far as the boom.
Yeah, I agree.
in the girls for the high school girls, that's going to be the next big thing.
Yep.
As it's really gaining some steam, and a bunch of different places are already playing. Some new ones starting. I know we're starting here in junior high. It's a couple of years away, but it's going to be good stuff.
I said this when you were gone about volleyball, and I don't mean this to be mean, Clinton, but I remember when Clinton started volleyball way back when I was in high school, and I'll say it. And the girls who played on that team my age, they'll agree, they were not good. It was bad, but it only took 5 years, and then they went and won a state title. It can be done. So hang in there if you're starting a program, because the way Clinton did, I think, if I remember right, they just started right into high school. I like how Elk City's doing it. You start with junior high, and you let it build up into the high school, and then they're ready to compete. It can be done. Absolutely, the buy-in has to happen.
Yeah, it feels like these sophomores for Canute are the first ones that have played for 3 years in junior high.
Yeah.
They were 7th graders when it started, and so now they've got.
Yeah, they had a heck of a year last year, so that's springboarding them a little bit, and it's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool, and thank you to programs like Eric and Corn Bible Academy. Snyder's had a volleyball program for a while, showing it can be done at the smaller school level. And other schools are jumping on board. That's cool. I love it that all these kids have these opportunities to do something. Maybe if softball's not their thing, they can go do volleyball or vice versa. I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it won't be long till about everybody has one.
Yeah.
Everybody will be playing. All right, that wraps up a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Thank you to Rodney and the gang at Paul Jones Drug. 809 North Main, care you can trust. We'll be back tomorrow. Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports App.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.